everyone, this is a review of the Transformers Siege War for Cybertron Deluxe Class Spinister. So I got Spinister way back in November, if I'm not mistaken, in Toys R Us in Singapore for about $30. I might be wrong, it's been a while. And he's just one of those figures I had in my backlog which I've wanted to review but just never had a chance to, just because of how busy work has been. So now that we're in quarantine, I think I would have some time to go back through my back catalog and start reviewing again. So focusing on Spinister, as you can see, is a really nice robot. I really love the proportions of this guy. He has very little kibble aside from the propellers at the back, but that's how he had those stored in G1, so I don't really mind. And yeah, I know the colors are a bit garish with this, hot pink and purple and blue, but I don't mind because one, he is a Decepticon, and that is, purple is the Decepticon color, and two, he was a child of the 90s, so yeah, hot pink is really a 90s color, and I think figure wise it suits him very well. So let me just straighten him up so we can have a good look. Now he doesn't come with any blast effects, so these blast effects came with Jetfire, I think, and these ones came with aimless. And the reason I gave him different blast effects is because he does sport different guns. So as you can see, it's differently molded guns. This is more sort of like Gatling guns, which these blast effects suit very well. And then these do look like a bit like laser guns, so I thought this would suit it well. Now, if you remember the old G1, Spinister was a target master, and these two are supposed to be like robots. But yeah, he's a regular deluxe release, so he wouldn't come with any transforming target masters. But having the two guns with the two different colors and scope really do serve him well. Now, you can use these guys in a bunch of ways. You've seen him posted on the arms that way, and that's my preferred way. But you can also use them as handheld guns. And then the third option is actually you can see there's a peg in a hole there, and there's a peg in a hole here similarly. So you can actually peg these two together to form a sort of a little bit silly but sort of super gun. I generally don't pose this guy with the weapons stacked up together, just because I prefer posing figures dual wielding, but this works as well if this is your thing. Now focusing more on Spinister here, his design is really G1. I love the G1 sort of a little like Optimus Prime sort of head sculpt, but more Decepticon-y, if that makes sense. So I love the hot pink chest and the gold details picked out. Lots of molded details, and a lot of it is painted, which is nice. So the arms are slightly different colors, so this is more purple lavender, while that was more pink. He does sport the Siege battle damage on the arms and on the upper legs. Moving down, you can see there's two sort of helicopter cockpits making up the legs, which is nice and even. That's very G1 as well. From the back, he does have the rotor blades there and the propellers here, so it's okay. Lots of molded details there as well, and not much, as I mentioned, not much in the way of kibble aside from this, which is his kibble, his G1 toy kibble. So it's really nice. Now just to show you him in some comparison, so here he is with Siege Sideswipe, So he's a little bit taller than your normal deluxe. Here he is with Dreadwind from Power to Primes. So he is a bit taller. Here he is with one of our tall deluxes, Ironhide. So Ironhide is about the same height. So he is one of our higher height, you know, taller bots. And here he is with Voyager class Megatron, stand up straight Megatron, and leader class Shockwave, which is not really a leader class but a Voyager with armor pieces. Okay, and here he is with a 6-inch figure, just so you know, for reference. Okay, now for articulation, his articulation is pretty good as well. So it does have a ball joint, so it does tilt a little bit, not too much. It does rotate 360. These arms will rotate 360, although you have to move this thing out of the way. His arms go that much out, which is really good. Upper arm swivel, double joint on the arm, which is really good for posing as well. There is a fist swivel, waist joint, legs that go all the way out, all the way forward and backward, not hindered at all. Upper thigh swivel, more than 90 on the knees, so that's probably the weakest point of articulation, but it's still pretty good. And the feet won't go up, but it will go back. And then he has ankle pivot, so yeah, you can put him in pretty much any dynamic pose that you want. Especially good with the dual wielding weapons and all that. Okay, so let's go for the transformation. His transformation is really fun. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. These whole parts are actually clear plastic. So if you've been watching my reviews, you know that I really am afraid of this clear plastic. One, because it will get loose sooner than the actual, you know, the not clear plastic. It will get loose, as well as it will have a tendency to break. But I've had this for like 2, 3, 4 months now, and it's still pretty good. So hopefully the plastic lasts. Okay, now to transform him. His transformation is a bit involved, but it also is a bit fun. There are a bit of tightness on the waist joint, which makes it a little bit tough, but you know, it's not too bad. So first thing you do is you unpeg it from the back, and then work this back piece up. So just unpeg that. Why is it tight? Okay, unpeg that, and then push this ab portion up. So mine is still a bit tight, but you know, should work its way up. There you go. And then just extend this all the way out, up. No need to rotate the face, it will get covered. So snap that in. Then just peg this back in. So there are pegs and there are 2 holes there, so just peg that in. Oh, sorry, you have to position the legs so it's facing down, then it should tab in. There you go. Now you can work on the arms, but I feel better to work on the legs first, you know, so that you will have the clearance. When the arms are there, there will be a little bit of hindrance, so just leave the arms out. Now the 2 legs, the leg with the landing gear is the real cockpit. This one is a fake cockpit. So get that guy out of the way. To transform the legs, first thing you do is you open up this panel. These 2 feet will transform a bit differently, so just have a look. So what the thing you need to do is, see that peg hole there? This should be oriented such that that peg will go to that hole. So this leg is a bit simple, just peg that in. That is done. Just wear my glasses. Then you rotate, leave that for now, do the other leg first. Now this should be oriented in such a way that the cockpit is facing down. So what you do is you face it up first, open up the panel, rotate this down. Now your objective is, see that peg there, should go into that hole there. So it will take a bit of twisting on the leg. So let's do that. I just do that correctly. Oh, sorry, it's not that peg, it's that peg. Get that hole. So just peg that in. The final orientation should be that this full cockpit is facing down, and this is with the top part of the foot facing up. So we then rotate this in. Open that up and then close this, make sure it's flush. Then that peg will go into that slot there, so just peg that in there. Now you can then rotate this around and then peg those 2 pegs right beside the face onto that slot, and that slot with the clear plastic. Just peg it in. Go. Now you should have clearance to then rotate this up and then close this panel up and peg that peg into the same slot there. Go. So that is the front of the helicopter all done. Let's do this arm now. So for the arms, you just peg that thing to that slot and then you peg that thing on the inner bicep to that slot as well. Again, it's a bit tight, which is a happy problem. Do the same on this side. Peg to the slot and peg to that slot. This might get undone, just put it back in, and then you just unfold the propellers, fold down the landing gear. Now it won't be as stable until you actually put the guns, so you just take these guns. There should be holes at the bottom of the feet there, so just peg that in and peg this one in, and that should form your secondary fake landing gears. This thing is not okay. One last step that I forgot to mention. See, there is a slot there and there's a peg there, so just peg that in there, peg that in there. That should allow it to stay flush and secure. Okay. There you have Spinister in this really awesome helicopter mode. So aside from the garish colors, which just translates from robot mode and is expected of Spinister, I think this is a really nice sculpt. So gives me a little bit of a Tomahawk vibe with this cockpit. So take a closer look, right? It's a lot of molded in details. So you can see that double joint. Focus. That double joint in the elbow, when unfolded, actually forms sort of an exhaust, a complete circle, which is nice. Another set of molded exhausts there. Some painted details on the legs, which is nice. Fortunately, the guns are different, but that's par for the course. Focus camera. Okay, nice Decepticon logo on the tail. And these rotors do rotate freely. So unfortunately, the robot mode arms are clearly visible from the side, and the faux cockpit is visible as well. And there is a visible gap right there. Can fit my entire arm. Sorry, my entire finger, but it's not too bad. Yeah, don't know if I have a figure stand here. And there is a peg hole right there, but I don't think this fits my figure stand. Yeah. Some figure stands you can actually peg it there. Put them in decent flying poses. And that is the review. So if you're a G1 fan and you were a fan of the original figure, I'd say grab him. It's really nice. You know, it's really posable. If you're like me, like posing action figures, this guy is really great. Double jointed elbows and really nice proportions. So it does really look good in a lot of poses. But otherwise, if you're just gonna be sticking to the original cast and things like that, I guess he's a safe skip. He's one of those figures which is good as an action figure, but the character is a bit obscure. So if you're not into like obscure characters in the G1, then yeah, then probably just skip him. So yeah, that was the review. So if you like that review, please leave a like, leave a comment, and do subscribe. Otherwise, this has been Grim Trigger, and that has been the Siege Deluxe Class Spinister. Thanks for watching.